What's happening, everybody? My name is Tabitha Simmons, and I'm the host of In My City. Listen, you guys know what it is. We interview extraordinary people making extraordinary moves in a very extraordinary kind of way. And today is no different. We have a very special guest with us on today. He is a singer, songwriter, model, producer, all that good stuff. I think maybe even a race car driver or an aspiring race car driver. I'm excited about that. We'll find out about that shortly. So let's introduce to In My City, you guys, Wondr.
What's up, guys?
What's
Quite the
happening?
intro right there.
I gotta spread it on a little thick.
Hyping me up. I like it.
Absolutely well deserved. Listen, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I've been looking forward to your interview since I reached out with you guys.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Absolutely. Another first off, let me just say congratulations to you. Over 1 million streams to date. That's this year to date.
Yeah, yeah, we've had several million streams. It's been quite an experience and something that I never really like. I mean, I dreamt of it happening, but it actually happening was just crazy to me. So it's pretty exciting.
That's what's up, as it should be. So you also signed to what is it, a new record deal?
So we signed a record deal top of last year, and we actually ended up fulfilling that record deal and kind of moving on as an independent artist. We had our own separate way we wanted to go and carve out, and there's nothing against the label. It just kind of worked out in a scenario that, you know, we still got a few songs with them. We're still, tied up with them in music, which is cool, but
Yeah,
we're still doing things on our own now. So kind of exciting.
I understand. So with all the excitement and everything going on, how is this for you? Are you enjoying the ride so far?
Yeah, I'm trying to make the most of it. I think as
Mm,
an artist, sometimes you get so caught up in making the
mm,
music and making the videos and the content. It's hard to take a step back and just look at where you've come, over the
yeah.
years. I think we've done a lot of things, and I have to just sit down and remind myself, like, whoa, you had these opportunities that you only dreamed of years ago, and now they're actually happening. And, they may be baby steps to a grander vision that I have, but they're still huge. So it really is just like that.
Absolutely. So let's go back a little bit further. I always like to give everybody a backstory. You grew up in North Carolina, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
What part of North Carolina?
I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. So between Raleigh, Cary, Morrisville, that area, I moved around quite a bit, but it was all within the RDU.
That's what's up, neighbor. I'm in South Carolina. I get there every listen,
Oh,
that's a bit of a drive for me. Columbia, South Carolina here, but that's a bit of a it's like 4
nice.
hours or so. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but I actually was
Yeah.
just living in Charleston, South Carolina, so I was only about an hour or two from you.
Charleston. Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved it. It was cool, but it was a little bit slow paced for, what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. I feel like I love being able to relax, and I love the
Yeah.
people that I met there. I had a great time, but now I'm out in Los Angeles, California, so it feels good to be out here where the hustle's back.
So let's talk about getting out there to Los Angeles. I read that you made some heavy sacrifices to start your dream to yeah. Oh, I do my
Yeah.
homework.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Because it's scary. A lot of people find that to be, it's your dreams over here and it may be
Yeah.
10,000 miles away and then versus what you're trying to accomplish here. So how did you
Mhm.
decide to just say, "You know what? To heck with it. I'm doing it."
So it's actually kind of an interesting story.
Mm,
I moved to California 3 or 4 years ago with my brother, and it was
mm,
just me and my brother. We drove out, did the whole trip, and I spent 6 to 8 months in California. And then I realized I had this girlfriend back home that I really loved, and I wanted to figure out how to make that work before I made the music stuff happen. I didn't want to go into music having any regrets and getting into a position where I'm not happy. So
mhm,
I went back to North Carolina to pursue my relationship with her, and at the same time continue focusing on music. Ended up growing in music 10 times the amount that I had over the years. I mean, it was a really interesting perspective because normally you'd think to move to Los Angeles or New
yeah,
York or wherever to build up your career, but there was so much buzzing in North Carolina with, the baby was popping off at the time. J. Cole had just thrown his
Right.
first festival, and every artist, every producer, every radio head, every DJ, they were all in the same rooms at the same time.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I think it was just the universe blessing me at that point because I got to have my cake and eat it too, in a sense, because I was able to date this beautiful girl and continue my relationship and then continue music and grow. And then 3 years later, we both move out here together and she's with me. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just incredible to be able to have that experience, but I know it's not the same for everybody. I'm fortunate to be able to have done it that way.
Well, you guys look like you have a lot of fun. I see
We
y'all in
try
Philly.
to.
All right.
Yeah,
I
she
love
puts
it.
up
I
with me
love
is
it. I
what
love
goes on.
it. She's doing a good job. Congratulations. Kudos to her. She's doing a good job.
She
So,
really is.
growing up in North Carolina, music wise, what is this something? Because I read about the race car stuff now. Now I know
Yeah,
you wanted to be what is it, an inspiring race car driver. So this was before the music,
yeah,
yes. So
yeah.
how did you make a decision?
So I was, I don't know. I think realistically, music was more obtainable. It was cheaper uh, than racing. Racing is so expensive. You have to pay for
Hmm.
cars, crews. You have to pay for all this extra stuff, and it's so expensive. I mean, music is expensive too, but I can just do it on my laptop right here with a couple of speakers and a microphone. And that's not even half the cost of what it would do to racing. So,
Mm.
I just kind of had this love and passion for music over time. And I just grew up around racing. It was Charlotte Motor Speedway was
Yeah.
only 3 hours from my house. So we go to the races on Sundays. And I grew up go karting and doing that kind of stuff here and there. But ultimately, I would love to actually race and professionally and be doing the
Yeah.
music stuff at the same time. I think it'd be a lot of fun just to explore that side of things. But right now, I'm trying to just actually mesh the two together and start doing more live performances at these races and kind of bring more of a live aspect to these NASCAR races, to Formula One, to
Mm.
whatever it is. So it's been cool to kind of mesh them both together.
Yeah, I see. You're gonna have to give me one of those race car necklaces. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, I got to make
I
some
was
more.
like,
I
that's
really do.
pretty crafty of him. That's pretty
Thank
dope.
you.
I'm gonna wear that to
Thank
work.
you. Hell yeah. I love that. I
So
love that.
listen, now growing up, what kind of music was the most influential to you? And I know it has
Um,
to be Petey Pablo because you were in North Carolina, so there's no way you can't say it.
he was my first rap CD that I ever
I knew.
had. So that was very influential to me. I think I was like in second grade. And, not really many people in my grade were listening to rap at the time. I had an older sister. She was 5 years older than me. And my
Mm,
brother was a year older than me. So they were handing me down this stuff. And I was heavily influenced by classic rock. My dad got me into that when I was super young. I was playing guitar and drums, and my brother and I had a band, and that was really what was my bug. But hip hop was just sitting right there. The danceability of it. I mean, I used to be playing basketball with friends and pick up, and I'd be dancing on the side of the court. Meanwhile, I'm like 10 years old. It's not me now, but I don't know what it was. I think it was just inside of me the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, it was there. Absolutely. So who would you say your greatest musical influences would be?
Oh man, it's a tough question because I have so many artists and so many different genres and pockets that influence me. But to go greatest of all time, Aerosmith is a big one, just because they
Oh
were one of the
yeah.
first bands I was listening to, and I was really
Yeah.
young. When it comes to hip hop, obviously there's the Petey Pablo, sorry, and then there's the the Tupacs and the Biggies. Those were important to me when I first started listening to hip hop because I was really getting into that. But I mean, when I was really starting to write and record and make music and make actual rap and hip hop
Mhm.
music, it was
Mhm.
it was Drake and it was Jay-Z, it was Lil
Yeah.
Wayne. It was those guys that were coming out around my high school era that I was listening to pretty heavy. Wiz Khalifa. I mean, those guys, I don't know. They just kind of carved a lane for hip hop, and so it's hard not to be inspired by them.
Sheesh, you've named some pretty. What about old school? Did you ever listen to any old school music growing up? Like, I
Uh,
guess old school to me is different because I'm in my 40s. So old school to
yeah.
me might be like Marvin Gaye. I guess that's
Yeah, I mean, that was around the house for sure. Marvin Gaye,
yeah.
Prince, Michael Jackson, like, I
Oh,
was
now we're
heavily
talking.
listening to that when I was young too, because I don't know, I was just like their vibe, their beats, the way they dance, like, that
Mm.
inspired me, the fashion, Prince had a crazy style, Michael
Ooh,
Jackson had crazy dance moves,
yeah.
so it was just a ball of just different artists. I really just take things from everybody and
Something
just
from
kind of.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So with music today or music when you were growing up, what would you
Which
choose?
which should I choose?
Yeah, music today.
Oh,
What do you find to be? What do you think?
yeah.
Come on now.
I know, that's a hard question. I don't
I
it's so
know.
tough. I think when I was growing up, I think that's for everybody. I think you have the biggest connection to a soundtrack or music when you're in high school. I don't
Mhm.
wanna, like, say it's for everybody, but I think personally for me, I was growing so much and you're learning to be yourself so much in that period of time. And so all those albums and that music that you're listening to are really heavily influencing like your relationships, how you dress,
Mm.
how you go out, like who are the people
Mhm.
that you hang out with and who's showing you what music. I think that was just like what's playing in your car every time you're driving back and forth from school. And I think that was a pretty heavy era for me. And that was, the Lil Wayne, Drake, the Wiz Khalifa era. And that was just like I could put one of those albums on that and it's like it takes me back instantly to a period of time. And
Oh
so that's a really
yeah.
cool feeling.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So you have who have people compared your sound to or your music to? So I know there has to be someone that they say, okay, well this is who he reminds me of. What have you heard?
Yeah. I've heard I've heard a lot of different things, and I feel like every time I'm like, I don't know if I quite agree with it, but maybe. But recently, people have kind of thrown out the MGK, the Swaco kind of vibes, which is more like pop
Yeah,
rock. But in the past, it's been like Ty Dolla Sign or like a Post Malone or
I can see that.
stuff like that. I feel like genre. I think artists who have genres that blend, like they're versatile. They
Yeah.
have, they can make an R&B song, they can make a dance hall song, they can make a rock song, and I feel like I try to be as versatile in my music as possible, and that kind of reflects that.
I can see that. I can see you across the board. I don't see you specifically being tied to one genre. Listening to what
Mhm.
the music that I've heard that you've done so far, I can see you spread out across multiple genres, not just limiting yourself to one. You definitely have a unique sound. I would
Thank
say go
you.
so far as to say maybe take Ty Dolla Sign. I guess I can hear a little comparison, but you have your own unique thing
Yeah,
going
that's
on
a
there.
stretch. He's like a real singer. That guy's got some pipes. I don't wanna stretch myself too far there.
Mm. So
Uh
your latest song, tell me about your latest song.
Yeah, so my most recent single is called "Finished," and I'm really excited about this song. I think it's kind of got a little bit more hip hop rap to it, which is cool. I don't make as much of that music as I used to. The producer I'm working with, his name's Who Is Dro, and he's a producer from Canada, I'm pretty sure. He just hit me up randomly on Instagram, and we kind of just started working over the past year or so. And what was really cool about this song, though, was the music video that we were able to film in San Antonio, Texas. And that was actually on my drive out to Los Angeles from South Carolina with my
Mm,
girlfriend when we were moving. And this kid, his name's Taylor Wright. He's a videographer. He had DM'd me on Instagram probably a week prior, and he said, "Hey man, I love your music. If you ever want to film a music video sometime, let me know. I live in San Antonio." And I was like, "Well, I'm driving to California in about a week. I can stop in San Antonio and we can film a video." And he's like, "Oh, let's do it." And he found that this abandoned racetrack there, and I sure enough, made the stop. We got together and we filmed the video, and it was just a cool series of events that happened to work out. And I got to film at a racetrack, and I got to meet someone who's really cool, really talented videographer, and put
Mm,
together a product for a song that I was excited to release because I haven't put out a song in I think maybe 2 or 3 months, and since
mhm.
the record deal. So
Yeah.
that was kind of exciting to finally put some new music out there, and this is the first one of the year, so I got plenty more to come.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it. You, did COVID affect what you were doing? Were you just getting started when COVID hit, or you were well into your music career by then?
I was well into my music career, but
Mm,
COVID did affect things in a way because it was pretty pivotal. I had only put out maybe, excuse me, 5 or 6 songs,
mhm,
I wanna say, before COVID hit, so we were kinda fresh in the sense of putting out music, but it gave me time to sit back, not stress about other artists putting out other music because everyone was shut down, which
mhm.
was really crazy, and I
Yeah.
basically had all this free time on my hands, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go back to my producing and my recording, and I'm just gonna get better at these fundamental skills that I've kind of touched on over the years, but mostly outsourced." So I went and took the time and I produced, I think it was, I'm blanking now, it's been so long, 27 or 30 songs. And then I wrote and recorded all of them and put them all out within 2020 and put out a bunch of shorts, visuals for it, and did a bunch of content. And it was huge because I just grew so much in, being able to actually work on music, write, to produce, record, have more
Mm,
understanding, knowledge of how the whole process works, and really just get more confidence in myself, in my voice. And you can really hear that growth over those songs up
mm.
until now. And I really just try to take it and make the most of it for what it was. And it wasn't the best experience for a lot of people, and it definitely sucked being locked
Yeah.
down in a house.
Yeah.
But you know I did what I could, and now I'm here. So I'm just fortunate.
Yeah. A lot of interviews that I had, that was a good time for me. A lot of interviews because y'all most of the celebrities were
Yeah,
so stationary and at home. Like my interviews
yeah,
were back to back to back and everybody described it as, this is our downtime, this is our think time. We have time to write, we have time to, be around our families. I had some that were like, I think it might have been Lunel that said, I haven't been around my family in so long. I forgot what my kitchen looked like.
I could imagine. Some of these guys are on the
Jeez.
road
Yeah,
24/7. So
now are you are working on a tour? Are you going on the road?
yeah, that's kind of our next big goal for this
Mhm.
year. We started playing shows again towards the end of last year, and what we really want to do is kind of line something up with NASCAR. And NASCAR
Ooh.
has a bunch of different series. So they have a thing called the Car Series, NASCAR, and it's the smaller tracks all around the country. And we like to kind of set up something where we go and perform at these small tracks, set up events, maybe perform in the city the night before, kind of like
Mm,
get this double exposure sense, but keep it, along the brand and along with what we're trying to do. And that's break into the industry and also create something different in a sport that, I think is looking to change. And we're really trying to focus on that. And then, you know, at the same time, I'm trying to put out music and try to push this content. So it's just trying to balance all that and figure out the
yeah,
best way to go forward possible. And I'm looking
yeah,
forward to getting my practice in. I think that's, the most nerve-wracking thing for any artist is getting on stage and right before you're about to perform. There's a lot of stress that goes into that. And for me, it's
yeah,
just working on that confidence, working on my vocals, trying to, be as ready as possible when that time comes. And so top of this year, it's been slow start, but uh put out this new music. Now it's time to get back to practice and hopefully line up some shows and get in these cities where all my fans are that they want me to come to. I hate not being able to get on the road and play for people, so
yeah,
that'd be exciting.
yeah. Well, I know your fans are waiting for you. I know they'll wait till
Mhm.
you get everything together where you can maneuver like you need to. You
Yeah,
are
of course.
also a model, so you like have you have like some major brands underneath your belt, yeah?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
You're so modest. Talk about it. Let's hear it.
So so the modeling stuff kind of happened after I graduated college. I was
Mm,
looking for a job that could afford me a lot of time with music because I didn't want to. I had worked from high school all the way through college, just doing stuff like cleaning cars
mm,
and doing valeting cars, and that was just it was great and all, but it was just so much time get sucked out of your day, and you didn't have a lot of time
yeah.
to get to your music and focus. And I had a friend at the time, she was modeling and she was going away on the weekend, and I was like, "What? How do I get a job like that? Like that sounds really cool." You know, after all these years, my mom telling me I should do it, and I'm telling her that's ridiculous. I'll never do that. Now I regret that. I'm like, man, I should have done this a lot earlier because it was just a good way to, you know, get experience behind a camera, start working with really cool brands, work with people like Champion and Spry and Gaiam and
Yeah.
all these different athletic companies, Adidas, and it's just been really eye opening. The industry is actually really cool. There's a lot of really cool talent out there, models like just like me who are, you know, have other careers they're pursuing in acting and music. And you meet all these photographers and these
Mm,
stylists, and everyone's
mm,
just so nice. And, you know, I'm just really fortunate and blessed to be able to have that opportunity because it has supported me over these years and pushed
nice.
me to the point where, you know, now I can kind of, you know, support myself with music more so than modeling, and
Yeah.
I'm just thankful for it.
Well, you're able to juggle both, yeah? One not necessarily
Yeah.
one more than the other, but now you're able to manage both, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, it's nice because I can work, like, a few times a month with the modeling
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and that's just enough for me and, you know, to keep my face out there as well at the same time. But for me, the big thing with modeling was tying it in with the music, just like with racing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been something we've been doing over the past couple years. We've had these opportunities to work with companies like Perry Ellis America
Mm,
um, and Artistics and set up these brand
nice.
deals. And having that modeling background was huge for those opportunities to come through. And you know, instead of being represented as, you know, this person Ryan, I'm able to be represented as Wondr in those scenarios, and that's just really a really good feeling because when you're a model and you're just going on these sets and you're just being, you know, they're hiring me as Ryan. It's cool, it's great and all, but I'm so passionate about my music that
Absolutely.
it's not as fulfilling for me if it was Wondr going out there and taking photos for a big
Yeah.
company. That's a really cool feeling. So
Yeah. So speaking of the name Wonder, where did it come from?
yeah, so I get that question a lot. I wish it was like a more exciting story. It was just over a text chain. We were trying to figure out what a cool name would be and just throwing things back and forth. And Wonder came up, and then the idea to take out the E and then capitalize the whole thing just to make it stand out and be unique was a thing. But then I kind of wanted to go back and give it a little bit more meaning because I think there was subconsciously a meaning to it. For
Mm,
me, that really has been my sense of wonder in my life. Ever since I was little, I always just had big ambitions, big dreams. I wanted to be a race car driver, professional basketball player, professional soccer player. I wanted to be professional everything.
yeah.
And I think that was just that sense of wonder of like, what can I do? Like, I'm never
Yeah.
someone to back down from something that's like, I don't know, I might be able to try it. Let me see. And, you know, I think that's all that kind
Yeah.
of that's literally carried me through my career to where I am now. So now that's how I like to describe it.
Well, that is the story behind it. I think that works. I thought, you know what? And I'm going to tell you the funniest thing. When I saw you in the video with the other half, and you guys had on the race car suits, and it had the Wonder Bread. So I thought that
Yeah.
maybe you were going to tell me something about. Well, when I was a kid, I ate a lot of Wonder Bread. So I was like, yeah, well, okay, well that works. I can
You know
accept.
what? I
I
might just
listen. I
use
can.
that.
I ate a lot of the Wonder Bread. It was only Wonder Bread to me. That's it. I
Oh, I
just
like
knew
that.
that's what you were going to say. I just knew it.
Oh, man. That's
So you threw
perfect.
me
I'm gonna
for a
start
loop on
saying
that.
that. That's a cooler story.
So listen, when let's talk about collabs. Who would
Mhm.
you do you have any big collabs coming up? I know you probably can't tell me, but you can give me a little something.
No, I have
No?
some people I've been working with recently. There's
Yeah?
this artist named Carson. He's actually out of
Mm,
Atlanta, and he actually is a race car driver himself. He races in Xfinity Series NASCAR, and just a super talented young kid who's trying to find his way in music outside of racing because he grew up in that racing world, and he's got
mm,
an insanely talented just skill for music. His voice is incredible, and he came
mm.
out here to LA a few weeks ago, and we got a few records in when we were in the studio together, and I'm excited about that. And then just more collabs with my producers. I feel like I've been working with a lot more producers recently, and that's been exciting.
Yeah.
Kids, people that are just guitar players, engineers, getting in these studios with different people has been so new and eye opening to
Mm,
me that I
yeah.
used to prefer being in my room alone recording, but now I'd rather
Oh,
get in a studio with a group of people and just put down a song because there's just more energy. I just feel way
yeah.
more laid back. I don't know what it is, but I'm really looking forward to that.
That's what's up. So if you could do a collab with anyone right now,
Yeah,
anybody, who would it
right
be?
now.
Right now.
Ooh, um, that's gosh. There, there's an artist that I've been listening to pretty heavy the past few weeks, and his name's Dominique Fike. He's actually in the TV show Euphoria, the one that Drake co-produces on
Oh,
HBO.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But he's a ridiculously talented artist. He has like this like rock but like hip hop vibe because he'll go from singing to rapping in a song, and it'll
Yeah,
sound so catchy and smooth that I really like. I'm like, that's something that's similar to me, and I feel like we could mesh up well on a song. And
yeah.
he's a big artist, so he'd be kind of cool to collaborate with.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Listen, you gotta put it out, and you gave me the spiritual meaning behind your name, so now you gotta put that out in the atmosphere, and so it'll come back,
Yes,
and it can make it happen.
exactly.
There it is. So, tell everybody what you
Oh,
have going on, what new music that's coming out. Tell them this is your time to shine, Wonder. Tell everybody how to find you, what to look up, all
yes.
that good stuff. Let's go.
Yes. So you can find my socials. It's at Wondr94. There's no E in the Wonder. That's everything. TikTok, Instagram, and then wonder94.com. That's my website. You can find merch, all my socials, any new updates on there as well. I'll have a new song coming next month, trying to get out a song every month, and then maybe a visual for that as well. But until
Mm.
then, you can stream my new song Finished. You can watch the music video on YouTube everywhere. So check that out. And yeah, I go by the name of Wondr. It's no E,
Not like the bread, like I said, y'all.
not
Definitely
like
not
the
like
bread.
not like the bread. Now he's gonna have to keep saying it because it's gonna stick
I
with some
love that.
people. You mean like the
It
bread?
is.
No, no, no. It's
See,
it's
it's a good
kind of,
rumor.
but not really. Listen, don't come after me because I started it. I promise I'm not
I'm
starting a
not.
rumor. It's not like the
No.
bread, everybody. It's
I
not.
love it. I
Wonder,
love it.
I have enjoyed your company. Your energy is absolutely everything. Is this how you are all the time? Is this you?
Yeah, most of the times. If I'm having a bad day, maybe I'm not as excited. But I love like these face
Yeah.
to face, just talking with people and talking about music. I think it just excites me in general, just because it's such a passion of mine. So
That's what's up. Your energy is everything. I have enjoyed this interview. I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy. But listen, before I do, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask all of my guests. If you
mhm.
could look a younger Ryan in the mirror right now, what would you say to him?
I would say, ooh, that's a good one.
Mm.
I feel like a younger Wonder was curious, didn't know whether he wanted to make music or not. And I feel like I would say if you have a true passion for this, just pursue it 100%. Don't focus on other things, don't get distracted. Stay focused on making music and doing what you love cuz that's what's going to drive you forward. And I feel like a young Wonder got a little lost sometimes in relationships and all that.
Yeah.
So the distractions were heavy back then, but I would just tell them to stay
Yeah.
focused on making music and doing what you love and being you, being authentic. I think that's a big thing today, being authentic.
Yes. Absolutely. I love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, I want to thank you so much for your time. Time is one of the most precious things that you can't get back. And I want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
stopping by in my city and blessing us with your presence. I'm going to continue. Listen, you were new to me in the beginning, but I vibed with it. I think there was something on Instagram I saw. It looked like a wedding. I think it was behind the scenes. And I think you
Yes.
were a groom. I thought that was pretty dope. And I'm like, yo, turn it up, turn it
I love that. Thank you.
up. You
That's what
are
you need to
dope,
do
and
with
I
all of
wish
them.
you absolutely just blast it. But you are
Exactly.
absolutely amazing, and I'm looking forward to what's to come and more from you and all the collaborations and no bread. I promise.
Yeah.
No bread.
Thank you. Thank
Again,
you.
thank you so much for being with us, and I hope to see you in the near future. You take care.
You too. Peace.
See ya. You guys, that was Wondr stopping by in my city to sit and chat with us, and that he did. He is a phenomenal artist. Please be on the lookout for him. Wondr. Unlike the bread, I'm telling you right now. I know I've said it enough, and it's probably stuck in you guys' head, but it's unlike the bread. There's no E in there, and it's all caps. That's how you find him on Instagram, on TikTok, all that good stuff. He's actually pretty funny. You can see him with the race car stuff. You saw him with a little race car necklace. I got to get me one of those. I wonder if he'll make me one. I would love to have one. Thank you guys so much. I am your host for In My City, and make sure you tuned in here and there. We're going to be doing more interviews every Monday and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you like and you subscribe and you check our page out. We've always got some upcoming news, some old news, some good news, some gossip, a little bit of everything. We're also going to be going live in my city, in your city. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know what's happening as I get around to it. But for now, thank you so much for joining me on In My City. Take care.